What we done started. Look at what we done started. This the people party.
What's up, party people? And the place to be is Talib Kweli, the BKMC, the MCEO, the Little Lebowski Urban Achiever. This is the world's best podcast, The People's Party. Always and as usual, I got my lovely and talented and funny and thought-provoking co-host, Jasmin Leigh, in the place to be. How you feeling, Jasmin?
I'm feeling great.
No doubt.
I'm almost like, I know you guys don't really care, but I'm like 5 pounds away from my pre-baby weight, so I'm awesome.
You're doing a good job with that trainer.
Thank you.
You got on a cute little outfit. You look like the sky.
Yeah, shout out my shell. And this is my LBC Fresh right here.
LBC Fresh.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. We're going to get LBC Fresh today. Today's guest is one of hip-hop's most iconic fixtures, rappers, producers. This man is an innovator in the lane of G-Funk music. This man is vital to the entire West Coast and to the entire hip-hop community. His family ties to 90s hip-hop go very, very deep by blood and by affiliation and association. He's always rocked with his childhood friends. His childhood friends have displayed loyalty and become royalty. 2-time Grammy-nominated artist. His biggest single is an absolute behemoth of a song. It's called Regulate. He's made waves in both mainstream pop music and hip-hop as an independent artist, as a sign artist. Some albums to his name include Regulate, the G-Funk Era, Take a Look Over Your Shoulder, I Want It All, The Return of the Regulator, In the Midnight Hour, The G-Files, the 213 album, The Hard Way. I can't wait to talk about that album. He is no stranger to the big and small screen. I enjoyed watching him in The Show, one of my favorite hip-hop movies of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the G-Child. Jam Master Jay meets Dr. Dre, Sir Cool himself, Warren G. In the place to be.
Woo!
Yeah. Peace and love, OG. How you feeling?
I'm good, man.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. We got Warren G on the People's Party. Oh, yeah.
Welcome,
yes, indeed.
welcome.
Yes, indeed. First, before we start, I want to shout out our brother Kurupt, Young Gotti.
Yes, indeed.
Because it was you posting a clip from our show of Kurupt telling a story about you during the LA riots.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kurupt. We had a good time with him. I was just telling Warren how Kurupt kept us on the phone for like 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, yeah.
That's a Kurupt impersonation.
Yeah.
Let's get into it, bro. You were born at St. Mary's Hospital at 10:20 a.m. Is what you say on your song.
Yes, indeed.
To Ola Mae. Shout out to that song, My Momma, off of One of All.
Yes, indeed.
Beautiful record.
Yeah.
Tell us about Ola Mae.
My mother, you know, she was a real strong lady. You know, a lot of people used to think she was mean, but, you know, the thing she was you know, teaching me and my friends and people that would come over was how to be responsible and not just be so wild and you know, and just be you know, just learn how to carry yourself. You know, that's my mother. She was just a great lady. You know what I mean? You know, raised us. You know, her and my father broke up, and you know, she taught me how to be a man. But still, at the end of the day, she said, "Get up out of here. Go move with your dad."
Right.
You know, just to get away from what was going on in Long Beach, California. So I went to Compton. It's the same thing as it was in Long Beach, but you know, my dad was able to you know, keep me more stable and not moving around too much. But you know, that's you know, she was just a good lady, man. Just a real good lady who didn't take no shit.
No doubt.
You know, always, you know, wanted the best for everybody, and that's just how she was.
No doubt. Shout out to all the strong mothers out there.
Amen, strong mothers.
I almost went into a whole.
Hey, man, you got the freedom to do that here.
No, it's all good.
Your pops used to play jazz music for you growing up, and that was what started your love of music.
Yes,
what are some
indeed.
songs that really captured your heart, your imagination?
To this day,
Sorry, Radio Raheem.
Chuck Mangione.
Wow.
Oh my God, I'm trying to remember the name off top. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to listen to the same record. My pops collect the same records.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
That record, it like I got it in my playlist right now. So whenever I'm in the car, riding my bike, doing whatever I'm doing, I put on that playlist and I just just relax. And that record, it just resonates with me, just like that's an incredible record. I love it.
It is. Is it Iron Man? One of those Marvel movies where they talk about that record, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Iron Man with Tony Stark, the first Iron Man, where he like tests the intern, and he's like to know what year the Chuck Mangione record came out. I'm not sure.
I definitely don't know. I'm not a cheater. Disclaimer. But I did used to cheat in Intro to Jazz History in college because we used to have to listen to the song and then. What was it? Wow. We used to have to listen to the song and like write down the people, and I would have my little list from the class before.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You are a cheater.
Just for that one class, it's jazz history.
Yeah. So you said you were LBC fresh today.
Yeah.
You were raised at LBC 21st in Lewis. Mm-hmm. Tell us about growing up in that neighborhood in that era.
It was cool. A lot of gang activity, a lot of sports, a lot of activities like for kids. For guys my age around that time, we had Kings Park where we could get free lunches and go to different programs where they taught us how to swim, run track, and play sports and stuff like that. But then, like I said, we had the gang activity too. Our whole block was everybody on the street gang bang. So it was not that we trying to grow up in it. I mean, trying to be a part of it. We was born in it and raised in it. So automatically we was gonna be labeled no matter what. Mm-hmm. But it was fun. It was fun. I mean, you had the things that went on, but ultimately, the whole that whole era was really fun.
Yeah, people often talk about poor neighborhoods, black neighborhoods, marginalized people, just in terms of like the negativity they see in the news and in the media, but people don't talk about the love and the solidarity and the unity that's in these communities enough. And in your documentary, which is amazing, by the way, I encourage everybody to watch it. It's the name of it, G-Funk, the documentary?
Yeah.
So on YouTube, you and Snoop talk about King Park and talk about United Teens and selling candy and having those type of activities and that type of structure and how that prepared y'all to be men. I think Snoop says in the doc, everybody he knows that was doing that was selling that candy, all of them rich.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
I thought that was amazing to watch. So that's in Long Beach, right? But like you said, you at some point moved to Compton with your dad.
Yeah.
In a way, you are the physical representation of what we know to be the LBC Compton connection.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Word up.
I mean, Compton and Long Beach has always been, I mean, it's like, so, I mean, it ain't even, you can almost, it's pretty much like the same city in one, pretty much, because you go a couple miles, you in Compton.
Right.
A couple miles, not even a couple miles. I mean, it's all long, it's like this, they like that. And it's pretty much the same, because everybody from Compton live in Long Beach, everybody from Long Beach live in Compton.
Me, as a New Yorker growing up on this music, I'm in high school in the early 90s when y'all first start get cracking.
Yeah.
And y'all in Long Beach yelling East Side on the records, I'm confused.
You're not
East
in the
Side,
East Side.
I'm confused.
Yeah, Long Beach is, I've only been there a couple of times, but every time I go, I'm like, I could live here. It's so beautiful and peaceful.
It is beautiful.
It doesn't seem like there'd be any gang activity.
Well, that's because you probably downtown.
I'll be by the beach.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
I'll
be cool. I don't go to hoods unless I'm with somebody from that hood.
You go up a few blocks up, it's different. Yeah, it's different. It is a beautiful place, really beautiful. And like I said, it was fun. We had a lot of fun growing up, from sports to selling candy to just being around the gangbang culture that was going
Adjacent
on.
to it.
I mean, it was cool. It taught us how to adjust wherever we go, because we went through so many different phases of being around this, that, and that, and this. So when I'm in New York, I know how to talk with my folks in New York or New Orleans or whatever, because it's all the same. The slang is a little different, but I still can understand. I hope I ain't off.
No,
the vibe is the same.
we on the same page, bro.
Yeah.
What was it like being Dr. Dre's younger brother as N.W.A. was blowing up?
It was cool. It was fun just to, having somebody to look up to, and he was doing his thing musically, so it, naturally as a young kid, you seeing somebody who you look up to, you want to be like him. But it was cool. He taught me a lot. He actually taught me how to DJ, how to produce, the whole nine. Just sometimes we used to like, he would have a girlfriend and she'd have a little sister, and I'd go over and try to mac her sister up.
Brotherly wingman.
Oh yeah, but he was cool. He taught me a lot, and was just always working.
And that's you on the 1-902 Compton skit, Niggas for Life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, I had to be about 16, 17
You sound young
years
as fuck
old.
on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and my homegirl, Bay, they called us and was like, Warren, we doing a skit, come through. So I was like, all right. So she drove me up there, and actually she was in a stolen car too.
Oh my God.
And she drove me up there. They was just like, Warren, talk about, the county jail. So I was like, all right.
And throughout your music, you've always had very cinematic skits and in-betweens from that experience.
Yeah.
Now, for context, I don't know if we mentioned it, but your father at one point married Dr. Dre's mom,
yes.
right? And that's how y'all became brothers.
Yeah.
And you met Snoop at elementary school through his brother?
Well, me, him, and his brother Jerry, we all was in elementary school together. It started right there, but then it also was being at King Park and in youth sports. We was all in the same school sports programs to
This
King's
is really
Park.
important, because these things are so important to our communities.
And the twins.
When the twins, right? And when these programs get cut from our communities,
Yeah,
that's when
Reaganomics.
kids start fucking up.
Yeah, Reaganomics took all of that stuff away. And I was tripping off of that not too long ago, about schools not having music programs and stuff like that no more. And SYETP, I don't know if you remember that. There was the summer youth programs where you could get a job. All that stuff left.
Yeah, we had that we had summer youth
Yeah.
work in New York too.
I guarantee you it was SYETP. It was a nationwide thing that was going on, but Reaganomics took that away.
Yeah. I've also heard you talk about the legendary Toe Jam and just Snoop Dogg's ability to freestyle. And how you would encourage him to freestyle. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I don't think people really know. I did BET The Cypher with Snoop and Big Tigger. And that's the day that I learned that he could really freestyle.
Yeah.
And then I did GGM with him later on, but I didn't know.
Snoop was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. He used to be real shy, and motherfuckers would be talking shit like they could see him. So I just like, Snoop, serve his ass. Like, serve him right now. You know what to do. And then I'll point at something. What's that, Snoop? And then he'll break it down, but then he'll be talking about this dude and and just going. And he was dope. I just wanted to I was well, set it off. I was like I can't say hype man, but just
The instigator.
Like, this my homeboy. He'd serve anybody out here right now. What y'all want to do? Even with Kurupt, I was like, this my homeboy Snoop. What's up?
Right.
Like, let's go.
So was you there the day that they had that battle?
I was
When
there.
his sister
wow.
was there. What's her name again?
What,
Diamond Ice. Diamond, she be with that Diamond Ice on
Look,
Instagram.
I swear to God, we was in front of the Roxy. It was me and Snoop. I forgot who else was with us. It was like a talent contest or something. So everybody that's trying to get put on is up there. So, we went to the show, everything. The show was over with, and they was just like, yeah, the word was out like Snoop is, this dude right here is dope. And then they was like, this dude Kurupt is dope. So it was like, what's up? What y'all want to do? So they was like, let's go. So we went to the front of the Roxy, formed a little circle. Snoop got on one knee, Kurupt got on one knee, and they started going at it. And that nigga Kurupt was hard. I ain't gonna lie. Snoop was dope too. Snoop was hard too. Them niggas was going at it. I was like, wow, because I was doing a little pointing at, and so I pointed at a ring, and Snoop started rapping about the ring, and then he said something, you talked about the ring, something that is true, but if you look at my hand, I got one too. It was like, wow. Shit. So they was just going and going and going, and it was like to where nobody could like win. Like he was dope, so it was kind of like a draw. Before we got up out of there, I said, man, let me get your number. And he gave me his number. So probably about maybe a couple weeks to I don't think it was a month, or a couple weeks later, I called him like, Kurupt, what's up, man? It's Warren. Because I was like, this nigga dope. I got to get him up to the house to put some music behind him. And I called him and told him, I said, let's do a demo tape so I could take it to Dre and them and let them hear it, that how dope you are. So he came up and we did a whole, we did probably about 6 or 7 songs.
Yeah, he credits you with being the first person to really see his vision musically.
Yeah. After we did it, we let Dre and them hear it, and they was like, we need him on Death Row. So that's how that whole thing had came in. But Kurupt was dope.
Right. Still dope.
Yeah, still dope.
Rest in peace to Nate Dogg.
Yes, indeed.
You met him around this same time, and you say on This Is Dedicated to You with Latoya Williams that you didn't want to make any music anymore after Nate passed. What was so magical about Nate as a musician and as a friend?
I mean, he was musically, he was, I guess I could say incredible, just as far as the being able to talk about, turn something that he's going through, turn it into music and make it feel good and sound good. He was incredible, artist-wise, like that on that part. But as a homeboy, a friend, and a brother, I mean, he just kept it 100. He was always there for me if I needed him. And if he needed me, I was there. It was just my dog. When we first met each other, we bumped heads heavy. It got to where I wanted to beat Nate up. It would have been a good one. I ain't gonna say I would have just beat him up, but it would have been a good one. But he kept woofing, and I'm like, look, I don't want to fight you, but it's gonna get there. But that whole thing turned us into being, brothers. And he was ride or die. Like, that was my dog, and that was our whole thing. Me, him, and Snoop. We brothers. Yeah.
Word up, that 213.
All right, so we talked about this song when Kurupt was there too. Ain't No
hilarious.
Fun. And as a woman, I love the song, but I feel like I shouldn't. But anywho, it ain't no fun if your homies don't have none, right?
Yeah.
Not that I'm sharing my
women could
anyway,
take it.
It ain't no
it's the
fun.
same
Even if it's not your
Women got
girl.
homies too.
Yeah.
Right, but even if it's not your particular friend, like, everybody should be getting laid together. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're all better people when we're coming, right?
Sure.
Anyway,
You do know that.
back to the show. What do you remember? What do you
all
remember about recording Ain't No Fun? Can you take us through there? You were staying with Dre during that time while he was recording Chronic. What was the environment like? And did everyone know that they were working on a masterpiece?
we didn't know we was working on a masterpiece. We was just in the studio, just working and just like we worked and partied at the same time, like having fun along with creating music. We didn't know. I mean, when I walked in the studio, they had already had the hook, and Snoop had did his verse, and Snoop did his verse, and Kurupt did his verse. So they was like, "We need another verse." I was like, "What's up?" And
hey, now you know.
Yeah, and, you know, let me lay down this last verse. So they was like, "All right, go ahead." And it was a lot of beautiful women in there. Just a party environment, because that's how we used to do it. We'd have food, beautiful women, weed, and just partying, but still creating at the same time. Anything that we would talk about in those sessions would turn into a song. That's how Ain't No Fun happened. That's how I'm telling you. That's how
I believe you.
That's how any of it happened. Like one of the skit Deeez Nuuuts. I said, "Dre, turn the mic on." He turned the mic on. We had a stool. I put the phone up to the mic, a C12 mic. Put it on speakerphone. Called my homegirl. I asked her. I said, "Hey, what you doing today?" And she like, "Nothing. Getting my hair and nails done." And I said, "Well, did what's your name get at you?" She was like, "Who?" I said, "Deeez Nuuuts." And she was like, "Oh, nigga." I said, "I got your ass." I didn't say that got cut out on there, but that was just us off of just regular, just things that we do. You know, like
that's funny.
Yes.
And you know, any of that stuff, like the record with Rudy Ray Moore. I played the record. If I had some nuts on the wall, would those be walnuts? You know, all that whole thing. It turned into a
those
song.
is cultural references though that you've collected through your experience growing up where you grew up, listening to those records, laying down.
Yeah.
You just like I know what goes with this. I know what goes with that.
I ain't gonna lie, I took a skit from the Mac on one of the skits on I'm talking about the Chronic, like all the stuff that I was talking about. I took the skit. You really don't understand, do you? In order for us to make these things work, you got to get rid of the pimps, the players, and the pushes. But that's how I was feeling when I brought that skit to Dre, and then the way he did it, and then made it come in, "Niggas, you crazy." And then they started, yeah, that shit was hard.
I had no idea that Deeez Nuuuts started with y'all until this interview. My brother still does that in the family group chats. Oh. He still sets them up, but it's crazy that it's 2022 and these are still things. You know how many kids probably got in trouble for saying "Deeez Nuuuts" to a question?
Yeah.
You done caused a lot of detentions.
A lot of detentions.
Just having fun. We were just
we young, man. When that came out, I was in
Yeah.
high school, so that sounded like the funniest shit I had ever heard when that shit dropped. But here's something that's overlooked. What you just said, we were talking about what we were seeing. That's something I feel like is overlooked in the conversation surrounding not just the Chronic, but West Coast gangster music or West Coast reality music, is that so much of it, from that first N.W.A. album, to Niggas for Life, to the Chronic, dealt with what was going on with the LAPD in particular, and dealt with the riots. For Chronic in particular, dealt with the riots.
The straight riots.
Y'all was in the middle of that shit, making that shit, right?
Yeah, in the middle. That shit was... We seen the shit on the news and immediately jumped up and started, let's get busy. And
right.
One of the guys who I used to have him come around, his name was Matthew McDaniel. He used to come around and he would just film wherever we was at. I'd call him like, "Matt, come on, we're gonna be here, just start filming." So he went, I told him we was coming downtown and he was already down there filming a gang of shit. So that's where the skit came.
So that's real shit.
To get this young black African right here, you know,
that's from the streets.
I'm gonna be a dead motherfucker. That was real.
I thought that was in the studio because I know that Dre. I know that Dre was creating cinematic things.
Yeah, but that was a clip off of the video that was filmed.
Wow.
Yeah, that was Dre is a genius.
That's crazy. But what's crazy to me is that you have somebody like Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace, who is absolutely a product and a child of the G-Funk era.
Yeah.
And what he did was he took the lessons from that and started his own thing. And the marathon is and the stores and the business and everything.
Yeah.
And the LAPD was targeting him as if he was a threat. Yeah. And this is the same LAPD that y'all was talking about.
Yeah.
On these records.
I mean, that's what we go through. You know, just in the LA gangbang culture, you know, just we're considered, well, I don't gangbang, but I'm still labeled as a gangbanger. We labeled as domestic terrorists. So it's
right. They had tanks coming through y'all cribs and all that.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. I really didn't understand that with Nipsey, because he was a good dude, just, you know, trying to make a change. And trying to, you know, teach everybody, you know, you don't have to just sit around and do this and do that. Learn something, you know, get out and hustle for this and learn how to buy the block back, like everybody's saying.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I can't get that one. That wasn't cool. Just the whole get down, just from, I remember when he had a party. And the whole police force went and erupted the whole party. You know, took everybody to jail. I'm like, damn, it ain't like they out shooting anybody or anything. They just having a party. And so I really don't, you know all of the details of his relationship with the police there, but the whole thing was just, it was fucked up.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was. Rest in peace to Nipsey.
Yes, indeed.
Rest in peace. But shout out to DLC. What he brings to the table is often unsung. How important was DLC to you in Death Row, and how did his role change after his car accident?
I mean, he was everything to us from the gate, from the NWA days. He became, you know, family, and just he was just so talented. I was a super fan. I was like probably his biggest fan.
We was fans of him on the East Coast too. The formula and all that. Jesus.
I was around him. I think I was there with him the night before he had that accident. We were shooting a video. I remember that. I wasn't shooting it, but I was there. I was like a groupie damn near. Just I wanted to be everywhere. That's, you know, because I looked up to them so much. So I wanted to be everywhere they was. And he was always cool. And that night, I think that had to be the same night that the accident happened. I was living with my pops and moms in Yorba Linda. And I had heard about him having that accident. I was crying. I was crying like crazy. And to you know, he lost his voice. That was even crazier. But I was just praying that he was okay and fine, you know. But I didn't know that was going to happen at the same time. But even though he went through all of those things he was a great writer. So he was doing that before that. So he was able to still be able to you know, teach. Like he taught Snoop a lot. You know, he taught me a lot, you know, as far as like how to write and how bars go and, you know, just understanding how to really create a song. And he just brought a lot to the table. He brought ideas that made records like the Chronic 2 and N.W.A. He all that was, we was just in one big old gumbo pot mixed of dope shit, like musical dope. And but he was everything to us, and he still is. You know, that's another brother. You know that he hit me all the time. He hit me not too long ago. Before I came up here, he hit me. He tap in with me. I tap in with him. He actually he may be here. He didn't tell me he was here, but he said he was gonna come. So I'm not sure if he flew or not, but he may be here.
Right. Well, shout out to DLC. he was a problem when he came out. I remember being
Yeah.
like, Jesus Christ, this nigga from Dallas. Wow.
Oh yeah.
In your documentary,
Mm-hmm.
you talk about having hurt feelings, being disillusioned when Death Row started taking off and you hadn't signed to Death Row.
Right.
And you and Suge had a little issue over you not signing to Death Row. Can you walk us through some of that?
We didn't have no issue. I was down with Death Row. The things that happened was just, you know, contracts was put in our face to just sign. And I was just like, no. I was like, I told Snoop, I said, no, don't sign that. Cause you don't know what you signing. You know, you got to get a lawyer to look at that stuff. And I was a young buck saying this. And I'm not gonna say who it was, but a whistleblower went
snitched on
and
you.
told him that what I had told Snoop and everybody. So he was just like, "Hey, Blood, where Warren G at?" And I was like, "Shit, what's up?" He said, "Hey, Blood, you told him not to sign that contract." I took off, but you couldn't get. It wasn't. Only way you could get down was the elevator.
Right.
So I'm hitting
Sure,
that.
you used to play football too, right?
Yeah, I'm hitting the elevator, trying to get off the elevator, and he grabbed me, and he had pushed me up against the wall, and I was like, "Blood, you told him not to sign that contract, Blood." Blah, blah, blah. I said, "Nigga, if you don't get your hands off me, nigga, I'm calling my brother, nigga, I'm calling all my homeboys," and he let me go, you know, and I had one of my guys with me. Luckily, he didn't have no gun because he was a gunner, you know. But he was just a little short motherfucker. So if he'd have had something, he probably would have shot him. And I didn't want him to do it, but he probably would have. I know how he is. But he let me go, and probably from that point on, we probably didn't see eye to eye. But I didn't hate him, you know. I didn't have nothing against him or nothing like that, but. You know, when it came down to it, at the end of the day, when it was time to start hitting the road and doing things like that, it was just like, we don't got a ticket for you. You ain't going. And I'm like, why? Shit, what the fuck is that? You know, and then they was just like, you know, like Dre was just like, just go be your own man, you know, do your thing. So, you know, and it hurt, you know, like I said, that it was fucked up. You know, I had to go back to the hood, sleeping on the floor. And all I had was my crate of records that I was helping out with the Chronic. I had my MPC 60 drum machine, my Technique, and my Numark mixer. And that's all I had. And but that combination right there made me into doing Regulate the G-Funk era, you know,
Right.
and doing records for Tupac, Definition of a Thug.
Yeah, it's a great record.
And
you
MC
gotta get mine.
Breed, MC Breed, you got to get all that led to that. And I, you know, I never had like no hate or nothing towards nothing that happened. You know, I just kept it pushing. And
I listened to you on Big Boy interview.
Yeah.
You sat with Big Boy a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And one thing that struck me was you said, he said, how could you not be bitter?
Yeah.
You said, I'm not bitter at all. I have
Yeah.
no ill feelings.
None.
Nothing. I've never had an argument with my brothers
Yeah.
about this music shit.
Yeah, nah, never. You know, just like it was a thing going on a couple months ago where, you know, Snoop, he was going through a lot, but they was like, Snoop said he wrote your whole album. A gang of motherfuckers hit me. So I'm like, what? So I look and I see the interview, and it was like he did say it. So I hit him like, look, you know, what's up? I mean, what you mean you wrote my whole album? Come on, Snoop, that ain't how we get down, cuz. And, I said, I'm not gonna never, I approached it and he corrected it. And, but then I did another interview and I told the people in the interview that I'm not gonna never let this music shit come between me and my homeboy. This is my dog, you know.
Yeah.
He was going through a lot. I'm not gonna sit up there and be tripping on him. He just lost his mom.
Yeah.
He going through a lot. So he just, he going through a lot. So
Yeah, he lost his mom and went right back to work.
yeah.
And he said, because that's where he felt most comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, but it got ironed out. and just, you know, that's my dog, you know.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that music. Shout out to Above the Law.
Oh, yeah.
And 187. And we can't tell this story without telling their part of the story.
One of my sensei.
Yeah, I don't know them like that, but the
Yeah.
one and only time I met Dr. Dre, 187 was there.
Yeah.
And the love that he showed me was palpable. I'll never forget the love he showed me that day. They showed you how to take with George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic and those type of funkos were added to the West Coast sound. But yeah, man, describe their influence on you and how that G-Funk became manifested.
Shit. Above the Law, 187. This goddamn phone.
You good on time?
I gotta
Everything
figure.
straight?
Yeah, I'm good. Can I use the bathroom?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Thank God. It's clear Huxtable.
Deeez Nuuuts.
Yeah.
Take 2.
That's my dog. Check that camera. Regulate dropped on Above the Rim soundtrack and also on your album, and it was a cultural phenomenon. Why was it important to lay out how G-Funk works? Chords, strings, we bring melodies. G-Funk, where rhythm is life and life is rhythm.
Well, rhythm is life and life is rhythm. It's about the flow of good music. And that was describing the way I do my G-Funk or how I do it. And that was the G-Funk era. That branch of G-Funk. And it's, you know, I feel like if you move, you know, walking in rhythm,
Right.
you know, you move in a smooth rhythm, it can guide you in life, you know, and avoid a lot of the pit holes and the potholes and stuff like that. So that's what I meant by that. Where rhythm is life and life is rhythm, along with that music. You know, me being around guys that making some seriously gangster shit, and not taking on that, but creating my own lane of a part of you guys, but this is my own lane, and this is how I do it, but it's still related to you guys. And that was and then being able to take it worldwide,
Right.
and create a where people start saying it's a genre. You know, but when I tried to when I tried to trademark, they was like, what you mean? You didn't make G-Funk up or G-Funk era. I'm like, I said G-Funk era. They saying that's a genre, that's G-Funk era. G-Funk, okay, that is, you could say what, you know, because they was like, well, Dre and da-da-da-da-da. I said G-Funk era is what I'm trying to trademark. I didn't say G-Funk. This is my branch of that same, off of G-Funk, but the G-Funk era, which you guys are saying is a genre. So I wanted to be able to trademark it so I could say, well, that's something I created. Which everybody know anyway.
Yeah,
But-
and it is feel-good music. You just can't help but smile. And, like, it makes me really feel like when it plays and I'm not in California, but it plays, it makes me really feel like I'm from California, even though I'm from New York.
And it makes you feel good, even though y'all talking about some gangster shit.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
y'all talking about getting robbed and gunplay and all that.
But you like, yeah.
It feels good, though. It's a perfect mix of LA sun and culture and the danger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, master stroke for using the Young Guns thing. Was that an afterthought or was that?
I think that was before we even did the song. I did an intro. We always used to say we got to regulate this, we got to regulate that. That's what we used to say just on the normal. Me seeing the movie The Young Guns, and I seen where he said regulators. We regulated, and he's still in the video. And we were saying that like we got to regulate.
So when you saw that in the movie, you was like, oh, that's
in the
hard.
street. Yeah, I was like,
that's
this
hard.
shit is dope. So on my MP, I sampled each part in the pad. I went out of the VCR to RCA.
This is technical
into,
talk for all you techies out there.
Yeah, into my MPC, into the recording, and I went to the numbers, played it, and just sampled this part, rewound it back, sampled that part, rewound it back, sampled that part, and had all the parts in there. And I was like, what am I gonna put this on? And then that's when I started fucking around, because my whole thing was I wanted to do a record with Nate, sort of, like me and him, like how Snoop and Dre was the dynamic duo. Okay, you got Warren and Nate. This is another dynamic duo together. So I was just trying to figure out how could we be different and not be on like no super duper hardcore shit. Let's just change the way it's gonna feel. And I played that Michael McDonald. I bought that record in front of Roscoe's. It was a dude selling records.
Shout out Roscoe's.
Much love to Roscoe's. But I used to hear it through my parents, but just I hadn't heard it in so long. But this guy was selling records. I bought his whole crate, like, because I'm a major record digger. I love to dig. Yeah, you could call him not a nigger, but a digger.
With the heart on.
Digger.
And out of that crate, that's where that came from.
Forgetting.
And he at the same time Half Dead heard it too, and he was like, "Nigga, that's the record, Warren." I did that motherfucker, and I was like, "Shit, let me get Nate, see what he could put on it." And he came over, and I said, "Well, let's go back and forth." So I started it off. I freestyled that whole. I mean, I ain't no super duper freestyler, but I freestyled that whole.
You set it
verse.
up like
the whole first verse was freestyle.
You set it up like a Hemingway novel. You know what I'm saying?
I don't.
Yeah, you set it up like I'm talking about the night and the moon. And I'm giving you this scenario.
I'm gonna tell you that kind of came from listening to artists who I was a big fan of too. A lot of their stuff was a little over my head, but it was dope. Freestyle Fellowship.
Yeah, we all know about Freestyle Fellowship on this
RBX, like those guys. I used to listen to that. And then listen to Tribe Called Quest. Listen to you. Listen to the Black Sheep. I used to listen to like all the. I was fans of all of that. You know, like I was a huge fan. Me and Snoop, Special Ed. Snoop thought he was Special Ed.
Yeah, he from my neighborhood. That's Flatbush rap.
Yeah,
right
he
there.
thought he was special.
Yeah,
look at his pictures.
Dollar Cab rap.
If you look at his pictures, old school pictures, look at what his hair do.
He got the Special Ed.
The Special Ed.
The tump up fro. That's called the coolie afro. I'm sorry, I should be saying that word coolie. It's a woke error. Have you ever seen this video where the white girls are singing Regulate and then the drummer starts singing the Michael McDonald version?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That was dope. That was dope.
I was saying earlier that they say that if you pitch Anita Baker down, that's Michael McDonald.
Just listening to her last night.
Oh yeah, I met Michael McDonald, man.
Wow.
I was I heard that he was gonna be at Pachanga, so I told my wife, I was like, "Look, I wanna go to Pachanga. Let's just me and you roll out and just go."
You chopped it up with him about the song?
Yeah. I got to I bought tickets right in the front row so I could catch one of the guys like that was on the stage. I was like, "Hey man, tell him Warren, it's Warren G here, man. Right. I want to say what's up to him before."
Right.
And they brought me back, and I thought he was gonna be like just like motherfucker just on some.
Right.
No, that motherfucker was is
cool as hell.
Cool. I mean, like one of them cool white dudes that you damn near think he black.
Like Jared.
Right.
Yeah.
Jared.
Yeah, I mean, cool. Like
on my own.
Our neighborhood white guy.
And he was tripping off of me, and I'm like, I'm
He's
tripping
like
off of
G.
you. Yeah.
I met him. I did an episode of 30 Rock, and it was like they did a We Are the World style thing.
Yeah.
And it was a bunch of entertainers, the Doobie Brothers and Wyclef and Mary J. Blige. And I was holding down Youch from the Beastie Boys because he was sick at the time.
Okay.
And so I was filling in for him. And Michael McDonald was there. And I met him and chopped it up with him a little bit. But I remember his line from the show was, "You don't want to see what's under this beard."
No one ever wants to see what's under your beard, man. Keep 'em.
Man.
Okay, so now we're at the Billboard Awards 1994, and you run into another thing with Suge Knight, because you performed Regulate with Nate Dogg against his wishes. So what was the aftermath of that? No pun intended.
It wasn't no aftermath. I told Nate, shit, nigga, come do this Regulate. Fuck that. This nigga ain't gonna do nothing to you. Because he was getting threats or whatever. I said, okay. So I got my regulators. You know, my guys, I had my folks there. And I told Nate, like I said, ain't nobody gonna do nothing to you. I don't give a fuck what, who, what, when, where. Ain't nothing happening to you in here. And then my uncle was a Navy SEAL. So you good, Nate. So we got there. Now, I ain't never told this story. I might get in trouble for
welcome
this.
to the People's Party.
But damn, Talib, I'm giving you, this is gonna be a good one. I pull up, you know, before the show, and I got a backpack. My uncle was like, Warren, just walk, you know, through the thing. I got my backpack. It probably was at least about 8 guns.
Shit.
In my backpack. I got it. It was even a Tech 9 in that mother. We had it was loaded, and wasn't nothing gonna happen to Nate. I'm telling you. And so I got all this shit in. The shit went off.
Oh God.
And I was just like, oh, it's just some music equipment, you know. And they was like, oh, okay, go ahead. Da 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 da.
And they didn't check you?
Didn't even check me.
They need to be fired.
Well, I'm telling the story
Kinda a little
now.
late for that.
I'm telling the story now, so it's way back. I was just a little wild back then.
We talking 20, 25,
Yeah,
26
I was
years
a
ago?
little wild back then myself, so it was gonna get in there either
One
way.
way or another.
No, I don't care. It was gonna get in there. We made sure Nate was cool, but they showed up. Suge and them showed up. They came over there by where my dressing room was, and Snoop cousin Joe Cool had words with one of the guys from over there, so he swung at him. Joe Cool, poop poop, you know, rushed him, and then after that, guess who? I ain't gonna say I hate to say it, but before he was acting, he was a regular, a security cat, Michael, Big Mike, that played in the Green Mile.
Oh, yeah, Michael Duncan.
He was moving the crowd. Him, and I had that part came from Russell and Leor, because there was another dude that was with them. He was different. He wasn't like, he was different. He was way different than everybody else,
Right.
and he kind of stood out like he was different. But he was with us. They was like, Warren, don't.
I mean, well, they owed you
but
that,
then
right?
I had my guy, my guys who know these niggas too, in there. So, what y'all want to do? Y'all know them.
You know how they get
Y'all
down.
ain't gonna touch Nate,
Right.
because we gonna tear this motherfucker up.
Everybody going down.
You know, that's my dog.
And you said that Russell and Leo had to do. They kind of owed you that, right? Because you saved Def Jam with that record. Def Jam would not have been able to continue going on. They were in bankruptcy at the time when they signed you.
Yeah. It was just, they showed me a good time, man. Just
Shout out to Paul Stewart, by the way.
Paul was the guy that set it off. Paul and John Singleton.
Rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace, John Singleton. They came by the studio. Actually, this is when I was away from Dre and Snoop, living in the hood. I came up to the studio because I was still coming around. So they was in the studio doing a song for the Poetic Justice soundtrack, which was What's My Motherfucking Name? And I don't know what happened with the business with that. So I asked Paul, I was like, you guys looking for songs for the soundtrack? And he was like, yeah. So I was like, I got a song. Can you listen to it, please? So he was like, yeah, I'll listen to it. We went to the car. I had a Burgundy Regal. We jumped in that mug and I popped the tape in. I started playing it. He was like, stop. He said, stop. And I was like, God damn, this motherfucker don't even like my shit. So he was like, can I take the tape? And I said, go ahead, take it. And he said, give me your number. So I gave him the number. That's when I started getting back charged up. He said, I'm gonna give you a call and let you know. I just wanted to, live with it.
That was Endo Smoke, right?
Endo Smoke.
Yeah.
So he called me and was just like, Warren, we want this to be our first single on the Poetic Justice soundtrack.
Amen.
And you talking about a good feeling? Like I was toe up. I needed some money, but this is the crazy part. So I got a call from Paul and John, and they was like, Warren, Def Jam want to talk to you. So I was like, okay, what they want to talk to me about? They was just like, they just want to talk. So they called and they was like, we really love that record. We thinking about signing one of the guys on the that was on the song. We like him. We really like what he was doing. Well, I was like, oh, that's cool. Let me get at Graham and let him know that you guys dig what he was doing. You know, he was saying we want and then he was like, we want that one guy. So I said, you want the first guy rapping doing this, da da da. So I had to even rap the shit, or I said the other guy, da 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 da. Right. You know, woo. And when I did that, I said him. That guy right there. So he said, I said, shit, that's me. That's me. I said, that's me. And they was like, that's the guy. That's what we want. It was Tracy Waples, Chris Lighty, and Leor. I was funny. Like, well, shit, that's me. And they was like, well, we really love what you doing, and we want to get with you. And a gang of labels after that, like every label at that time was at me.
Back in the days, you could get signed sight unseen off of a verse. Mm-hmm. They didn't have to look at your IG numbers. They didn't have to know what you was doing on TikTok. They didn't have to know what you look like. None of that.
Yeah.
Chris Lighty and them just heard it. It was like, nah, that's ill.
Yeah. But people are lazy now. They don't go off of their ear. They just go off of people that are already fully packaged.
They want to follow the crowd before they invest in it.
Okay, so this book bag with 10 million guns in it, how did you disguise it?
Like, was she back on that?
It wasn't guns like, because like a book bag, it has things like bulging out and stuff. Did you have them like in a blanket?
It was a regular backpack.
Which is a bunch of guns pointing.
A big backpack full of shit.
How you think people carry guns around?
I don't know. I don't carry guns around. I don't hang out with people who carry guns around.
It was handguns and then it was a Tech 9.
But that's like what is a Tech 9?
So that's
a big ass book bag. It's like the nerd kids that used to carry the rolling suitcase book bags. That's what I'm picturing.
I got a rolling suitcase right now.
Really? Because you have.
You want me to go get it? You know how many guns I could fit in that knapsack right?
Was it like that, or was it like JanSport? Like I'm really
straight regular backpack.
Wow.
Straight the regular. It was regular. I used to carry all my. I used to have a backpack full of wires. My drum machine.
That's why, and that's why you could say so easily. Yeah. When I went to high school, there was a kid named Laquan. He used to carry a Tech 9.
Laquan, he sound like he's up to no good. I'm sorry.
Brooklyn Tech, he used to carry a Tech 9 in his JanSport, and I remember this because JanSports was the most popular bag.
And he used to get they used to steal the little.
And he used to have a handgun in there and a Tech 9 in his JanSport. So when like I'm seeing that now in my head.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
JanSport was perfect for a Tech 9 actually.
No, it's not.
I'm telling you. It happened, but I swear to God, it happened. They got in there.
And you just walk through cool. When I walk through the airport with weed or mushrooms or something,
but you gotta understand, he's about to perform the #1 hip hop record in the country at the Billboard Awards. Yeah. You just going through security. That they not expecting. Security is about profiling and expecting.
Yeah.
And if they have no reason to profile you, you can get away with a lot of shit. You just got to act like you belong there.
Yeah. And I walked right in that motherfucker. I didn't do no panicking or nothing. I just, all right, now it's my equipment.
And then worst came to worst. Let's say they would have found, it's not like it's the police. They would have just said, you can't come in.
Yeah.
That's the worst that would have happened. That was 94.
Yeah.
But in 95, you were on stage with Death Row and Suge Knight when he came at Puff. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about dancing all in the videos.
I wasn't on the stage. Okay, I was there.
You were there.
But didn't nobody know I was there. This is some more shit, Talib. I was
there. So didn't nobody know you? So you wasn't there with
nobody, and nobody period knew I was there. I caught a cab. I had on a black hood. I had a hood. I was sitting in the back of that motherfucker just like this. Yeah.
That's
through the whole thing. I watched the whole thing. I watched the whole awards.
You said on your documentary
I had a Glock on me, but
my God.
He got in Madison. That was in Madison Square Garden, right?
No, I can't say that. I can't say what, but I was there. I was in that motherfucker sitting in there. I had a Glock. Yeah,
I watched that
because not too long after that is when the shit happened in Brooklyn with the dude that shot at the
the New York.
I was with Grand Pooba. in a club. I don't even know where we was at. We was somewhere downtown.
That changed the whole trajectory. You said in your documentary that, I'm going to quote you. You said, it no longer became about the music. It became about what side you on. And G-Funk was never the same after that.
Well, that was with Death Row and with Bad Boy. I'm on Def Jam. Shit,
Right.
I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care what nobody said.
You stayed out of it.
And I was riding with Def Jam just like as if it was okay. This is Def Jam, that's Death Row, and this is Bad Boy. This is my crew over here. I'm with these niggas, ride or die, because they looked out for me and they helped me get to where I am. So this is my family here.
Right.
So I'm riding with them. I wasn't on like, okay, I'm from the West Coast and this. I was on the East Coast when all the support that shit was bullshit. Wasn't no East Coast, West Coast
Two crews.
beef. I was having a ball. I was going to Brooklyn. I was going to Queens. I went to the Bronx. I went everywhere and hanging out and everybody was. This what tripped me out though. Like it was 3 in the motherfucking morning. There was kids outside running around and everybody outside like it was daytime.
About old New York.
I'm like, God damn, everybody outside.
Oh, yeah.
It's summertime too. In the summertime,
And that shit.
and the projects, nobody could go inside.
That
It's too
shit
hot.
felt me so good to me just to be there and around that. I had so much fun. They was like, man, we listen to y'all shit. They don't play it on the radio like that, but we listen to y'all stuff.
That was right.
And I mean, I was all over. I went to Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, to Biggie Street, with the liquor stores right there on the
St.
corner.
James Liquors.
And Lil C's, Biggie, all them was. I went on the block. I went over there and fucked with him and was trying to end that situation with him and Tupac. I was telling him like, what's going on, so I could get at them about. He said, man, I ain't got nothing to do with that, this, that, and this, and that, and this. He was like, he tripping on me, and I was like, damn. Well, I'm gonna get at Pac and try to see if I could iron it out. You know what I mean? Because I fuck with them niggas too.
Yeah.
And Big Bell, I don't know if you heard of Big Bell. He was a really big cat right there from Bed-Stuy. That's who brought me in there. Jacob York, and he was a manager back then. He's still around. But they brought me right there, and me and Biggie walked to the store. And the nigga got me a private stock. It was
They was drinking. Yeah.
And
I used to live over there at that
cool.
time. That's
that
crazy.
Was cool. Like that was cool. You know,
I was living on Gates and Franklin.
Oh yeah.
At that time. You had your own crew. You was working with the Twins, putting Dove Shack, Josh Skills. You gave her a whole solo song of the album. You was working with the 5-footers. One of my good friends, the first person that I met on the West Coast was N.W.A.
Yeah, Neb is
Neb used to take care of me. Make sure I was good.
Is dope. Josh Skills, dope. Knee High, dope. Cobra, K-Bar, all of them. Pinky, Von.
You're so gracious, especially with the female MCs. And people thought that this type of music was so misogynistic, but you was always like, nah, we got to have the females involved in this.
Yeah, Josh Skills set it off. I used to go up to Long Beach State. Yeah, you know, this was like way in the beginning. I used to go up there because, you know, they had the AKAs and they used to throw these parties and all that shit, and they was fine in a motherfucker. I heard this girl rapping one day. They had like a cipher going on. I heard her busting, so I was like, damn, who the fuck is this? So I was like, damn. So she was like, my name Josh Skills and da-da-da-da-da. So I was like, let me get your number. I'm working on my album. I just felt this. I did a beat that boom, 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 boom. I was like, that shit, I know she'd tear this up.
Yeah.
And brought her to the studio, and she came in that motherfucking, well, it's the super, the duper, the Land Cruiser Trooper. I said, oh, this motherfucker hard. I said, I'm putting this on my album.
That's dope.
But Josh Skills set it off, and she brought Neb, and I was blown away like, damn, Neb, she even doper. Actually, you know what? She brought Knee High, and then she brought Knee High's dope as fuck too. Knee High's the gangster, and then she brought Neb. I took them with me on all my tours, everything.
I seen
all overseas.
y'all on
everything.
the show. In the show,
Yeah.
they all in the movie.
Yeah, them was like, cause I was just like, this is my crew. You know, with the twins too. Just like you guys, whatever. Like they didn't even have records out, but I made sure that they was getting paid everywhere we went. They get checks. That was my family, my crew. But them was some of the dopest girls that I done ran across, like as on a crew tip.
Yeah, I mean, girls or guys, they just that's a tight ass crew.
Yeah.
Also on that record, you did something that just tugged at my heartstrings as a child. You sampled or repurposed the Transformers theme song to Busters in Disguise. Yeah, that's my shit. And I'm gonna tell you how much of it is my shit. The Transformers, the original cartoon with that theme song, just dropped on iTunes
Is that
a couple
right?
of weeks ago.
Wow.
So I've been watching them.
Yeah.
I was already watching them, and then I was listening to your album while I was watching it. I had the album going to Transform, and the shit came on while I was watching the Transformers. I was like, oh,
that's crazy.
Now, were you watching the cartoon by yourself or with your little?
I have a year and a half. You know, he watched about 5 minutes of Transformers, and then he's off of that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, son, this is the dope shit. Let's talk about the 213 album for a second, because we talked about your connection with Nate and Snoop, but we didn't really get into how y'all formed 213 before Snoop and Nate and everybody took off. And for people who don't know, 213 is the group that y'all had together. But to me, the sound that we associate with the West Coast now is the 213 sound.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? The album that y'all put together, another is an underrated classic, The Three the Hard Way. Another Summer, produced by Kanye, right? Eddie Kendrick's Flip, the Intimate Friends. Dave Chappelle is on it doing interludes, doing the Rick James bitch. Gotta Find a Way. That made me want to shed a tear.
Yeah.
Brilliant. What was it like working with High Tech, who I came in the game with on the opening song to 213?
I'm a fan of his music. We were all fans of his music, and we just, like I said, we always wanted to be different. You know, like, let's try something the way we rap over this type of music. That was right up our alley. Just it was everything that we was a fan of. It was what he gave us, and we fell in love with it and put a great record to it.
Yes, indeed.
The Get You Down remix with Snoop and Ice Cube, nothing but amazing verses. The song samples war. How did you feel when you heard those verses? And what verses across your career that you remember being in the studio for and just going, wow?
Doing that record was just another dream come true, just being able to do that with Cube and Be Real. And at that time, they was kind of feuding, so it kind of brought them back to where that got squashed. Everybody verse was dope on there.
Everybody verse was so crazy.
Yeah,
that's some of the best verse. That might be my favorite Be Real verse.
Yeah, that he was busting.
Yeah, and then Snoop's verse about the football.
Yeah,
it's just like, yo, you performing at such a high level at this late in your career.
Right.
Is dope.
Yeah, that record right there, I had help. I ain't gonna even lie on that one. Bishop Lamont helped me on that record.
That was my next question. I just wrote that down. Like, talk about Bishop Lamont.
Yeah, he helped me on. He helped me on that record. Yeah. I'm like, shit, I ain't no motherfucking MC like that. I'm simple. You know, I don't use a lot of big words and nothing like that. I'm just real basic and simple. Them they was busting. So I was like, man, I need help on this one right here. So he got in. We got in there and throwing ideas here and there, and he came up with the whole shit, wrote it out, mapped it out, and I was like, God damn.
Very talented dude. We got a bunch of music
super
together.
Talented.
Yeah, shout out to Bishop. I have a song called Midnight Hour too. You got an album, but I got a song.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I Need a Light from that record. It's beautiful. Nate sounds amazing on that. His tone sounds different on I Need a Light. Is it because he's just growing up at that point?
Nate was just dope. He just knew how to
give it what it needed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Check this out. We was playing a game, video game, and we sitting there playing the game. So we had a beat playing in there because me and him was working at that time, just doing shit, fucking around. And he said he stopped the whole while we playing the game, and he stopped, and he went in there. He said, "Turn on them goddamn mic," because that's how he used to do it. Turn on the goddamn mic. This nigga rapped about. He turned the song into. He had his joystick in his hand. We turned him having a joystick in his hand into a song.
Yeah.
Joystick.
Joystick.
What game was
song.
this? Right.
He started singing the shit while we was playing the fucking game. We stopped and he went right in the booth and laid the hook. She said she wants to ride my joystick. She wants to ride.
I was just listening to this song, and I was listening
So
to
much
it,
nicer
and
than,
I was like, yo, they was cutting the fuck up in the studio. I was like, yo, them niggas was probably cracking the fuck up recording this song.
We was having
because it's serious, but it's juvenile as fuck. It's
we would have a ball.
It's silly.
It'd be women in there, a gang of homeboys, everybody in there. It's like I said, it's like a party.
Yeah, man. Speaking of partying, tell me about some of this regulator kush that I've been hearing about on your Instagram. Man,
it's got to be the dope on dope.
Okay.
Really good strand that I'm with some people right now. I can't mention them that we actually Illicana is the company that I combined with we're gonna bring this on 420. But the outside people that I sourced with that I wanted to, even though these guys, they have what they have, but this was something that I already liked before I got with them. And I said, I want this still because it's bomb.
It's bomb.
And I never want nobody to say that regulated kush was some bullshit.
Ain't no
I mean, look, you coming
here,
from the West Coast, you got the Be Real shit, you got the Snoop shit, you got Kurupt with the Moon Rock.
Yeah.
You got to come correct.
Yeah. I got a good strand that's some really good shit. I'm gonna leave a bar with you. I got you.
Did you bring some with you?
Some
Not
parting gifts?
for after the interviews because I can't smoke during the interviews.
It ain't in my package yet, so I got to pull it out my bag.
Gotcha.
I love it.
Yeah, I can't.
Raw from the source.
Yeah.
So we were talking about you grinding up your own chicken because you love to cook. You have Sniffin' Griffin Catering. Would you say that there is an LA barbecue? And if so, how would you define that?
Coming out here on the West Coast, we do a lot of tri-tip. I do it all. I do tri-tip. I do brisket. I do the Kobe beef. Beef ribs, the thick ribs, about that big. And a lot of people, I try to make mine as tender as possible without it mooing. Still moo.
I like my meat to moo.
I don't know what that means.
That means rare, medium rare.
Yeah, but I still try to make mine.
Oh, he doesn't eat beef. That's why.
Wait, y'all meat be mooing?
Yeah, I like my meat to sing to me before I put it in my mouth.
I cook it a little bit more, but still to where it's still tender enough, as if it was like a medium rare. You know what I mean? But it's cooked.
When I think of LA barbecue, I think of Christmas. So y'all be barbecuing on Christmas, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
We don't do that in New York.
It'd be cold.
It'd be cold.
Yeah.
But if it snowed out here, I'll still be barbecuing.
Right.
That's what I love to do. It's just like producing music.
Yeah, my father actually used to barbecue during the winter. We just wouldn't be outside. He would go outside and barbecue and bring it inside. But this was freaking awesome.
Yeah, this was amazing.
You enjoyed yourself?
Thank you, brother.
We enjoyed ourselves.
I would love for that. I forgot you said something about a favorite verse on the In the Midnight Hour.
Oh yeah, when you're in the studio. Not just in general, like just one of your favorite verses for when you were in the studio that you witnessed.
My favorite verse from that entire album was the actual song In the Midnight Hour, which was Nate. The verse he did, it was late night. I was in there by myself. It probably was like, it wasn't, this is once again, he came and it was after 12 and he came right and they said, turn the goddamn mic on. That was his thing. Right. He got in there in the midnight hour. Yes. Hey. In the midnight hour, I wanna make love to you. Woo, 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 woo. In the midnight hour, I was like,
That's it. That's the name of the album.
And then that's exactly how it happened.
Yeah.
And then that's when I came in late night in the studio, because we was in there. Everything that we was going through, I love that song, and that's how we created. Still to this day, we could be in here talking about some shit, and it'll turn into a hook that fast.
Love it.
And then we just write our verses.
I make up hooks all the time, but they don't go anywhere. So besides hosting a barbecue with your regulator Kush, what is next for Warren G?
Really, I'm about to start giving everybody music again.
I love that.
Still gonna be doing my barbecue sauces and rubs, and doing a lot more outside business ventures. I have some, but just doing a lot more outside. I've been digging into real estate pretty heavy. Just trying to really learn it. I mean, it's simple pretty much. It's pretty much like the dope game. You just get it and flip it, and get them and flip them, and get them and flip them.
Location.
Yeah, and build and build and build. I've been thinking about that for a long time. I hadn't really just dug into it. I wanted to really learn a lot. And I ran across a cat that could really teach it to me without me having to go sit in a class all day and this, that, and this, because I'm on the road all the time.
Right.
And it was a dude named MG. I seen him on EYL, Earn Your Leisure. They whatever they platform is, whatever. Right. I seen him, a dude named MG, and I just started following him, and he had these videos where he was explaining everything about real estate, this, that, and this, and I was like, damn. So it really reeled me in to where, I'm really getting ready to dig into this, because this right here make more money than any of this shit. It was just something I wanted to dig. I'm gonna dig into and really regulate.
Yes.
And on that note, man, you are an icon, and your time is so valuable. And
that's all good.
Thank you for sharing your time.
I hope I answered some, but I wanted it. I was turning. It would have been. I'd have been here an hour just on one thing.
We, shout out to all my people who do this, from Noriega to Math Hoffa to Breakfast Club and Joe Budden, everybody who do what they do. But this experience is unique because we trying to. Everybody got their own thing that they give to the people, but we try to give as the space for all of that. Yeah, and to make it about the music and the experience, and to not play gotcha and not, obviously a lot of artists, somebody of your caliber who's been in the game for so long, been a lot of negative situations, a lot of drama and this and that that's for your story, for your music, for your documentary. So we're just trying to give you your flowers and make sure that your story is told in a way so that in the future, when somebody's like, I don't really know about Warren G, they can learn everything they need to know in this one interview. Yeah. And thank you for giving us your time.
It's all good, man. Yes, indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, the People's Party is proud to have Warren G.
For sure. Much love. Much love.